And folks, before we get started here today, it's important to give an acknowledgement of our traditional lands. So I'm tuning in from campus at Royal Roads today, which is located on the lands of the Lekwungen peoples, the Songhees, and the Esquimalt First Nations. And it is with gratitude that we live, learn, and work here, where the past, present, and future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, staff, and faculty come together. So grateful to be here with all of you. And of course, the reason that we're here today, folks, is to discover our disaster and emergency management suite of programs. It's going to have a super exciting discussion here today. I am Mariana Konjerski. I'm an education specialist here at Royal Roads. I'm super pleased to be joined by my colleague, Dr. Mahmood Fayazi, who's a professor and the program head for disaster and emergency management. Mahmood, nice to see you.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you, Adriana.
Fantastic. And then we also have my wonderful colleague, Andrea Boyce, who's from Enrollment Services, who's going to be helping us out in the chat today. So very pleased when I can co-host with both of these lovely people. And just a quick agenda before we get started here, folks. I will kick us off with a brief overview of the Royal Roads University experience. We'll talk about some program information and then some admissions and how to apply info. We'll have a little question period at the end, but if you do have any questions throughout, feel free to pop them in the chat as well as we go along, and we will address them at the end. And if you're not familiar with our space here, I'd just like to share some photos of our beautiful campus here at Royal Roads. So you'll see the top left, this building, this may look familiar to you. This is Hatley Castle, and it's been in many, many movies. So things like X-Men, Deadpool, variety of Disney movies that have all taken place kind of in those walls there. So it's a building that we have on campus. And then we also have a variety of gardens and green space here. So just to the right of that is a photo of our Japanese garden, just one of many here. And we also have a migratory bird sanctuary on campus. You'll see to the bottom left, that's our Esquimalt Lagoon. And we also have been doing online and blended learning for quite some time now, well over 25 years. So you'll see to the bottom right, that's an homage to our online and blended learning styles here that we are famous for at Royal Roads. And then I just want to also share some alumni survey statistics with you. So just a recent alumni survey that we did here at Royal Roads, 93% of our alumni say that we've positively influenced their personal and professional lives. 92% say that they felt supported by staff and faculty. 90% say that we provided them with the tools and knowledge required for a leadership role in the workplace. And 89% say that we provided them with the tools and knowledge needed to be innovative in the workplace. So just want to share those quite good statistics as well. And we're also proud, of course, to be an Ashoka U certified Changemaker campus, which is an innovative approach to education that prepares students as they address world problems, encourage others, and act for the good of all. And at this point, folks, I will pass it off to my wonderful co-host, Mahmood, who will take us through the program structure. Take it away.
Sure. Thank you again, Ariana. That's a pleasure to speak about the program. So as Ariana mentioned, I'm Mahmood Fayazi. I'm the program head of the Disaster and Emergency Management program at the Royal Roads University. And today, I would like to, walk you through this program, explain a little bit of the structure of the program. And again, as Ariana mentioned, I would be more than happy to answer all of your questions if there's any, the good question and you want to know and learn more about, this program. I will be happy to answer your question at the end of this presentation. So about the program, I will go to the next slide. Yeah, about the program. So I would say that, that this program offers good flexibility, some flexibility for those of you who, as I saw on the chat, so many of you are attending this meeting from different part of the Canada, and also I saw that we have some couple of the people attending to this webinar from international from outside of the Canada. Especially, I saw that there's some comments from Munich in Germany. Welcome to our webinar. So for the benefit of all students who are usually, the mid-career, the professionals who are joining to our program to continue their education, we are offering two different, the styles, both as an online and a blended offering. I will explain both of those. And also we offer two different, the degrees, Masters of Art in the Disaster and Emergency Management, and also graduate diploma. And again, in the future, the slides, I will explain the differences. So for the Master of the Art, as I mentioned, we offer both online and blended offerings. The online program, which we launched just after the COVID, is fully online without any aspect of your physical presence in the campus. When the blended offering is a mix of the both online and also 2 or 3 weeks per year, sorry, 1 or 2 weeks per year, the being in present on the campus, which we call it residency week. And the online program runs if you are willing to register and enroll in the program. Online programs runs from June 2025 is a little bit more than 2 years program, and it will end in March 2028 with a 1 week of the virtual residency. Again, in the online program, we try to keep the aspect of the residency to make, to create the connections between the students and hopefully the future colleagues, and start to build community with an orientation course also. And in that residency, so that's going to be only 1 week virtual residency for online program. And for the blended program, which runs from the November 2025 to March 2028, there will be two-week face-to-face residential on the campus. And there are going to be 2 courses at the time during the residency blocks. This is, the structure of the program. As you see, all the students, both in the online and blended programs, before starting their core courses, they go to take they will take some 2, the introductory, or I would say the preparatory courses. So one is a student orientations, and the second one is about the introduction to academic integrity. Those 2 courses, they don't have any credit and just a fail and pass, no mark, no evaluation, but just by passing, all the requirements, then you will, they automatically pass to start your core courses. Core courses start with the foundation of the disaster and emergency management, and then you will continue with the facilitation, learning about the facilitation, coordination, and decision making in the disaster and emergency management environment when there are multi-stakeholders involved. And then we will touch upon it, the human dimension of the disaster, social and psychological aspects of the disaster, foundation of the research. The students will take, the first primary research method course here, and then hazard and disaster risk management. And the course, which is my course, is about the disaster response and sustainable recovery. So by taking all those courses, it's already, the 6 courses. By taking these 6 courses, it's already 1 year of your program. Those students who enrolled in the the graduate diploma program, they will end here. And they will get their diploma after finishing them 533. But those who are willing and enrolled for the Master of the Disaster Emergency Management, Master of Art degree, they will continue and they will all take 1 extra course, which is about the disaster and emergency management planning from policy to practice. Then after, we are offering 3 paths for the different students, depending on their desire and their interest. Some students may take a thesis path if those students who are willing to continue their education with 1 piece of the research, conducting a piece of the research and submitting their thesis, they are required to take 1 advanced research method course. And then after, during a 1-year time that they will have by the end of their education, they have to conduct the research and submit the thesis. We have another track options, which is a course-based track. For the course-based track, the students are required to take another course, which is a DEM 602. This is the, the disaster and emergency management course. is advanced professional practice, planning for resilience in an age of the uncertainty. And then they are required to take a 3 elective course from our bank of the elective course, which I will show you in the 2 slides. And then at the end, for a matter of the 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, between the January to March, they will take course HAMS 691, which is a short paper. And then for those students who want to have a little bit of the hand on, the disaster and emergency management and get the experience of the working with the different institutions or organizations, we also offer a blended, I would say that a mix of the course-based plus internship option, and that those students who choose this track, the mix of the course-based track plus internships, they will still take the same course, advanced professional practice, plus 1 internship, and plus 1 elective course and internship. And again, they are required to submit their short paper by the end of their education. So a little bit of the more information here about the different 3 paths and 3 tracks. Thesis tracks take a second research course, as I mentioned, the advanced research method course, and also 1 year to come. They will have a 1 year to complete their research and write and defend their thesis. The course-based track take an advanced professional practice course, as I mentioned on the table. And they will take 3 additional elective courses for the 9 credits in total, and to take a short paper course. But for those who are interested in the internship options, same as above, they will take it, the courses, but they also have to take an internship course. So the internship course will require at least 420 hours of the work experience. So that part might be very interesting for some students, because we have a good bank of the relationship with the different related organizations all over the Canada. And we will be more than happy to introduce the students and to contact those organizations. And even if you already have an organization in your mind and you want to take your internship with that organization, we have a student service at the university who's going to facilitate that relationship. This is only a snapshot of our elective courses that we are offering. So as you see, there's a very, very diverse, the courses. And the good news is that we are still working with the help of my colleagues to extend this list and offering, the different courses from the different, the schools and program inside the university, with a little bit of the more focus on the climate change and climate change adaptation for the, the benefit of our students in disaster and emergency management. But this is something to be confirmed and it's not finalized yet. But those lists that you are seeing here in your screen, they are all courses that are currently available and offering at the university. And our students, and hopefully you as our future students, you will all be able to take any of those courses as your elective courses. But many of you maybe have a question of how our classes would look like and what do we cover in our classes. So this is just again a sample, a very the simple sample of our courses. We choose here our first course, which is our basic level course, is a foundation of the disaster and emergency management for the purpose of this presentation. So the course aims to build an understanding of the literature and the policies, and also look at their relevance in practice. So in general, the course is a combination of the academic readings plus examples from the practice, and to discuss the practical application of those lessons that we learn from the literature. Usually our courses is a combination of the couple of the units. So the maybe 2 or 3 units. Every unit has a couple of the weeks inside. But again, I would say that our courses, there is usually 8 or 9 weeks course, and our students will take course one at a time. And after finishing the one, they will take the other one, except during the residency, in-person residency on the campus, that they will take 2 courses at the same time. So this course is a combination of the 3 units. So the unit 1, as you see, the week 1 and 2 inside the unit 1, the aim is to focus on the understanding of the hazard and disasters and the differentiation between the hazard and the disaster, and to help a student to situate themselves in the disaster and emergency management field and examine their beliefs and their perceptions and their understandings. The second unit is a focus on the hazard, risk, and vulnerabilities. This is with full with the readings, discussions, and also conceptual, the discussions inside that units. And the last one is a focus is with the focus on the concepts and the theories and the disaster and emergency management. I would like to also a little bit talk about evaluation and assignments and expectations from the students. So usually we frame our courses based on the different type of the assignments. For example, for this course that you see on the screen, we have 4 different type of the assignment designs for this course. First of all, which is the common for in our old courses, and I would say that also it's very possible that all of our the programs at the university has that the formula is that for us the first assignment is the unit activities. The unit activities is the inside class activities. Inside every week activities. It could be individual or with a team components, activities with the team components, and usually it's for the 10 to 15% of the grade or evaluation mark of the every course. Each unit has a number of the different activities designed to support a student's learning and to assess their understanding of the materials covered in every week. The second bunch of the assignment for this course is a reflective paper. The purpose of the reflective paper is to develop a student's skills in reflection and to the critical thinking, which is really the essential competencies not only for the the professional but also for the people in the academia to have that critical thinking skills. And for us, it's very important to to put enough attentions and emphasis on helping our students to leverage their capacity and the competencies of the the critical thinking. And the third the assignment, as this course is one of our basic courses, one of our the entry courses, we want our students to make a list of all the concepts and terms that they learn during the course. We want our students to develop a glossary of the the terms and concept that they learn during the course by their readings. And we wanted to every students to provide or to list the different definitions of every concept that they found on the literatures. And the final assignment for this course, is an integrative paper. And the integrative paper, the aim is to, the helping students and to deepen a student's understandings about the complexity of the hazards, how social, economic, political, and environmental factors contribute to make a hazards a disasters, a hazard that usually happened in the normal life, which is a very the natural phenomenon, how it turns into the disaster that in our human settlements we experience. This is a very deep the discussions with the theoretical discussions, but we wanted to students to become masters of that understanding. And also, the one another purpose of this, the final assignments is to help the student to have a deep understanding of the key emergency management problems associated with the hazard's impact in a specific context. And beyond that curriculum, the curriculum that designed for the course, all those, the courses and, the structure of our program, we also offer some extracurricular activities. And we are not short in those extracurricular activities. We are offering webinars. We are offering, lots of the guest lectures, invited lecturers we are offering for every, the course, and also outside of the courses. For example, one of those extracurricular activities that we just recently launched is disaster and emergency management guest lectures. So for the benefit of the public in general, we make those guest lectures available for everybody, not only limited to our students or our alumni. You also, as our potential future students or somebody who just curious to know about our program, I would like to invite you to visit our webpage for this program by going to the Royal Roads University website. Just search Disaster and Emergency Management Program. Then you will see this page with the menu bar on the right, on the left side of your page. On the bottom, you will see Lecture Series button. By clicking on the lecture series, you will see the schedule of our upcoming lectures, and at the bottom, you will have access to the recordings of our previous lectures. So this is one, the bank of the lectures freely offered to the public, and everybody could benefit from those very exciting, interesting, and top-notch, the lectures in the field. And that's it. That's a very brief presentation about the program. I try to explain the structure of the program, give you a little bit of the sense of the understanding of how our courses work, and also a little bit of the talking about our extracurricular activities. So please feel free, if you have any questions, write it in the chat. And I assume that if you wanted to, to ask your questions live, there's also an option to activate your microphone at the end of the webinar. So I leave it here to Ariana. So please, Ariana, I know that she has some couple of the more slides to finish the webinar with.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mahmood. That was wonderful. We just have couple questions in the chat. I just want to address these. I know Andrea's been really helpful. Lindsay's asking, at what point do you have to decide between a thesis path and a course-based path?
That's a very good question. So again, I will get back to my calendar. So when you just imagine that you choose a blended offerings. So you start your program in the November 2025. You will take all those 6 courses until the November 2026. But before taking the last course in the September 2026, you have to choose your path. So it's roughly about the 1 year, after 1 year. So I would say that about 11 months, 10 months after starting your program, you have to choose your path.
That's great. Thank you so much. Lindsay's also asking, what should we consider when selecting between a graduate certificate or diploma and Master of Arts? Does this affect or support employment opportunities afterwards?
For sure, for sure. But again, it depends on your, the situation, your, the need. But the big differences is that first, by choosing, the graduate diploma, you have the option of taking more courses. You have the option of having either the internships and also finishing it with your thesis. Regarding, the career wise. It depends on your the target. sometimes, the organizations or the place that you want to work with, they require at least a master's degree. But again, sometimes, that if you are looking for the promotion in your job, or for example, for your interest, so the graduate degree also has a very good opportunity, is very, the potential, and we have so many students who choose graduate degree. But again, I would like to also add here something. This is not a wall. This is not very, the rigid, the separations. We have students who enrolled in the master degree program, but for some reasons, family, work, financial reasons, in the middle of their path, they decided to no. Graduate degree would be enough for them. They stopped after taking courses, graduated with the graduate degree, and they have the options if they wanted to take a leave or take a little bit of the distance from the schools. When they come back, they will be able to continue from based on their graduate degree, continue taking courses or do their research and finish their education by master degree. We have that flexibility.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. We have many more questions in the chat. Thank you, folks, for asking. Brianna's asking, I'd love to hear some examples of the types of internships that have occurred in the past.
For sure. Yeah, for example, especially during the pandemic, we had lots of the interest of the students who were working with the Health Canada, with the health-related organizations, with the ministries, with with the local governments. We have a lot of the students who choose working with the municipalities, with the cities, with the disaster emergency management departments. So all those, the options are available, and especially, the working with the ministries, either at the, the level of the federal or provincial level, and also, the working at the level of the local governments. There are all options of the internships that are available.
Great, thank you. Sarah's asking, if you don't take a full course load the entire time, will you be delayed a full year if the course is not offered again?
That's it. Yeah, exactly. But the good things is that because we are offering two intakes, the intakes of the online and intakes of the blended. So for example, if you are the students of the online intake, so our online intake, as I mentioned, hold on, for example, is in June. Our blended intake is November. Just imagine, for example, you are the students of the online intake, you missed a course and you couldn't finish it and you wanted to extend it, for example, you still have a chance to take the next offering of the course, but to offer to the blended program student. So sometimes if you're lucky, you don't have to wait until the next year to take the same course. There is a chance that the same course being offered in the couple of the months to the next intake of the students.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Another question in the chat. I know Andrea is responding to some of these, so thank you, Andrea. Could you explain how the courses are delivered? Are classes synchronous or asynchronous? How many people are usually enrolled in the course?
This is one of the very popular program at the university, and we are very proud of the having the very crowded the classes and program. But we put the cap into not taking students more than 40 students per year. This is our cap. So we have a classes of the 40, 35 students, and all our courses are offered asynchronous. But we have always, based on our instructors and professors, but I would say that more than 85% of our classes, we always have a office hours every week. The office hours offered every week work as a live sessions to go through the materials of the week, asking students questions. So we have both that options of the live sessions per week and also asynchronous materials, which is the recorded lectures, readings, and sometimes recorded guest speakers as well.
That's great. Thank you so much. Lots of activity in the chat, so forgive me,
Mm.
folks, as I am trying to keep up. Some questions. I see there is some questions about things like flexible admission. So, and yes, the recording will be sent, just so everybody is aware. Recording will be sent. If there's any resources as well in the chat, I try to put those in. So things like we're talking about the lecture series and things like that, I will put those in my follow-up for you folks, just so everybody has kind of what we are discussing. So at this point, I will maybe move on to the how to apply, just because I'm seeing a couple questions for things like flexible admission. So why don't we do that? And then we'll touch on a few more points. And if you have any further questions, we can also provide our info on how to follow up too. So a little bit about how to apply if you are thinking of coming into the program. There are two avenues for admission at Royal Roads. So we have standard admissions and we have flexible admissions to our program. So I'll just touch on briefly the requirements for both. So standard admissions, folks, looks like a four-year or comparable undergraduate degree in a relevant and related field. You'll see there's an asterisk there, with a minimum GPA of a B from a recognized post-secondary institution, or B plus rather. And then relevant and related, of course, the definition for that. You will need to address this in your personal statement. So we'll touch on what a personal statement is in just a moment. And we also have flexible admissions. So flexible admissions, if you don't meet the degree requirement or the GPA requirement, we require about 5 years of relevant professional experience. Or if you do not have any undergraduate degree, we would normally require 10 years of work experience with a minimum of 2 years relevant professional experience in a leadership or management position. And then there's also the academic writing and critical thinking course prior to starting the program. So I know there's a few folks in the chat or asking if I have work experience, can I qualify? Of course, there are no guarantees, but certainly flexible admissions is a great avenue to folks who maybe don't have the undergraduate education or don't meet the GPA requirements. So definitely do not count yourself out. Full details about all of this, of course, is on our website. So under disaster and emergency management, you can read a little bit more about those application requirements. Lots of stuff at royalroads.ca. So please give it a read through if you have not already. As well, just to touch on briefly, language requirements. So English is the primary language of instruction and communication at Royal Roads. If your primary language is not English, there are a couple ways you can meet those requirements. So holding a recognized credential from an English-speaking country is one. Submitting an official English language proficiency test score report, and then completing one of our Global Learning and Language Center programs is number 3. So a few different avenues. Again, you can check all that out at our English language requirements page for all of those test scores and different things like that. And if you are thinking of applying and you want to know the next steps, the first step, folks, is an online application fee of $136.69. And then we ask for some supporting documentation. So things like official transcripts, if you have post-secondary, a detailed resume. So going into real detail about your work experience, life experience, volunteering, all of that good stuff. The personal statement. And what that is almost like if you had a cover letter to a job and you were trying to detail, what do you hope to bring into this program? What do you hope to get out of this program, and how does your experience kind of tie into all that? 2 letters of reference. Those can either be academic or professional in nature, and then the English language requirements, as I mentioned previously. Some key dates. I know Mahmood has mentioned those. We have a few intakes coming up. So blended, the next application deadline is August 24th, 2025, which will be here before we know it because we are somehow almost in February. And then the start date is November 24th, 2025. Online, the application deadline, March 23rd, 2025, and then starting in June. So a few options for you to choose from, just depending on your situation there. Some services that are available. As I've mentioned a couple times, my wonderful friend Andrea is helping us out in the chat. Our friends at Enrollment Services, they can be reached if you have any other follow-up questions or things that you want to chat with somebody. They can be reached at learn.more at royalroads.ca. And there's some phone numbers, folks, for local and for toll-free. You can give them a call. You can book a meeting with them. They're super helpful to really narrow down those program options, answer any questions if you're wondering, like, I have this coursework or situation or work experience, what do I do? They can connect you with students and alumni or program heads as well. So all the good stuff. And then financial aid and award, because we recognize going back to school is a really big step. So if you're looking for things like loans, bursaries, scholarships, student research scholarships, or emergency funding, all of those things is at our friends at Financial Aid and Award Services as well. So that's available to you. I know there has been some activity in the chat. I just want to do one quick little peruse to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yes, we are going to provide all of those links. Thank you for asking, folks. And then, oh, Mahmood's put that in the chat. Thank you. That's wonderful. And yeah, Andrea's put in the chat, if you want to have a one-on-one discussion or discuss the application process, you can book an enrollment advising appointment as well, which is super helpful. Okay, and I feel like we've addressed most of the questions in the chat. Again, that information is on the screen, learn.more at ruralroads.ca if you have any questions, or you can book an appointment with Andrea. At this point, Mahmood, I will pass the floor back to you one last time if you have any
Yeah.
last things to say to wrap
For,
us up here.
for sure, for sure. Thank you so much again, Ariana and Andrea. That's amazing. The support is is valuable. I saw another question in the chat regarding the possibility of the working and continuing their education. So I would say that most of our students, as I mentioned from the beginning, the most of our students there are professionals and they are in the mid careers. Most of them they work full time and continue their education part time. The only thing that that you have to take in consideration before enrollment is that the residency part. Either that if you're blended residency or online residency, you are required to be available fully for that. The residency part. For the online residency is a 1 week from the 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. full activities, and for the blended residency is a 2 weeks of the your presence face-to-face activities on the campus. That's all. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much, Mahmood. Thank you for your wonderful co-hosting, and of course, thank you to Andrea. And thank you to all of you folks for tuning in live with us today, or if you're on the recording, thank you for watching. Of course, feel free to be in touch with us again. Learn.more at railroads.ca. And we hope, of course, we will see you in a webinar next time, and we definitely hope we will see you in the program. So in the meantime, folks, take good care and have a great rest of your day.